host committee. So ACIPA is All California Young Peoples of Alcoholics Anonymous. It basically, I don't know if you guys, I think all over the country, there's normally local groups of young peoples in AA. And so what ACIPA is it takes all of the different groups from the different area codes and whatnot in California, and it groups them all together for something every year called the ACIPA Roundup. And I actually went for my first time this year. It was a ton of fun. It was basically the whole conference is about 5,000 people. So it happened right before the quarantine, actually. And it's hard to explain. I don't know what to expect, or I didn't know what to expect. But I basically showed up, and it's just hanging out with a bunch of people who are exactly like you. It feels like you're around thousands of people who go through the same problems you do, who have been through the same part getting sober. And it's just kind of like an AA meeting, except people who are young at heart, people who are experiencing the same growth and whatnot that you are. So it's just like a great place to feel at home and get to know new people. I've made a shit ton of friends, and it's just been an enjoyable experience. So I'm happy to be now on the committee who's bringing it to president this next year. It definitely keeps me busy, and it's just great to help meet new people and be there and be able to be a friend for people who just need a friend, because it's kind of shocking getting sober and learning how to do your life over again. So it's a great way to be of service and to get to know people. So that's it for that announcement. Do I speak now? Yes. Oh, okay. So on to my sharing. Hi, I'm Blair, an alcoholic. So I was thinking about what I wanted to share on tonight, and I don't know, it's sharing your experience, strength, and hope. And so the thing that came to mind was I had a phenomenally great day. My day was very simple. So it started with me getting up and going to a meeting online, and after that went to another meeting, took a shower, yada yada yada, and I got to help my friend move today. And he's a friend that I met in the program. We're in a group of just young guys. We do stuff together, like meetings and book studies and whatnot. And I just had a really good time. He had a friend there who's not an alcoholic, but he's just genuinely a good guy. He's beautiful, he's gorgeous. It was two for one deal. He's a great guy. And it was just nice to be present and to be around a bunch of people who really care about each other and are just doing things to help out. And I share that because my days didn't used to be great at all. So I used to hang out with a lot of people. I still do, but before I used to have this like empty void inside. So my alcoholism didn't start well, actually it probably did start when I was in my teens, but it didn't really start getting bad until I was in my 20s. I grew up super fast. I'm like an old soul. I'm an old man. Like I want to be at home watching Netflix, unless there's alcohol and drugs in my system. Like I'm just old inside and boring. And so I've always had really good jobs and stuff right out of high school and just worked professionally. And so I decided to move away when I was 20 years old because I wanted to come out and live my life and just be young for once. And that turned into a whole mess of shit, just always trying to fix everything. There was something always going wrong, and I just always had to fix it. I started getting very social and going out a lot and making a lot of friends in college. And I would drink literally Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And it wasn't, I don't feel at that point like it was something I necessarily need, or at least I did not see that it was a thought or something that I had to do. I thought it was just what I was supposed to be doing to act my age and just feeling young and being free. But if you notice, I moved away because I came out. So it was always that was always something that was really difficult to me. So where I always felt like I was different and whatnot. And I feel like I kind of always used alcohol without even noticing it, to make me feel better. And I don't even think that's where my alcoholism really got bad. So everything was really like fine until I was gone for like 3 years. This time I was like 24, and I was living with some people, and they always commented about how I should get home safe because they never knew how I was going to get home, and I would just be completely obliterated. And I didn't even realize this until like a few months ago. They always say get home safe. And then one day they had a group house meeting. There was like 12 of us that lived in this house, and they asked me to move out because they were concerned where I was going to get my money for rent. They were always worried about me actually coming home at night. And I was just like, what the shit is going on right now? Like, I'm 24 years old. My roommates are asking me to move out because they don't feel safe. Um, Still, I did not get it at all. So time goes on. End up having like a midlife crisis because I was 25 and I wasn't finishing school. I was dealing drugs, and it was paying for my life. But I was dealing drugs and making a shit ton of money, yet I still didn't pay rent, and I got evicted. And so I had like this crisis, like, what am I doing with my life? And I came home to Fresno, to my parents' house, and I immediately went 0 to 60 and started working full time, as an architectural designer for a home builder here in town. And I worked there for 3 years. And this is where I started to feel alone and empty. So I had all these friends that I would go visit, that I met from school, on literally leave Friday at 3:30, and I would either go to San Francisco or I'd go to San Jose. I did this every single weekend. I would spend profuse amounts of money on alcohol and drugs, and I would just go absolutely nuts all weekend. I made really good money at my job, yet I always had no money at the end of the day. I had a really shitty boss. I was really good at my job, and I thought that I was a really good employee. And looking back, I wasn't. I would always, when I go out of town, I would go out with my friends, buy everyone drinks, buy myself drinks. I would be a crazy party animal. Um, I would always feel, okay, I'll say this. So I used to go out, and then when I'd go out, I would find the hottest guy in the bar. And if he was gay, good for me. If he wasn't, I would tell him to pick the hottest girl in the bar. And I had a 100% success rate on sending him home with that girl. And I would go home at the end of the night, not paying attention to what I was doing. I'd go home at the end of that. My friends would go to sleep, and I would take every pill that I had, whether it be Xanax, Coke, sleeping pills. I loved Ambien, and I would drink as much alcohol as I could find. And I would do this every single weekend on Friday and Saturday, and I would always wake up the next day. As soon as I would get back and everyone would go to sleep, and I would do this, I would feel absolutely alone, and I would not be able to express it. I had just this void of, like, when you're like drunk or you're high and you feel like you need to smoke a cigarette, like you need to get that relief like in your chest. It was like that, except it was like in my heart, and I could never feel it. I would have all these people around me that absolutely loved me, but I wasn't available for them. I wasn't able to reciprocate that or fill it, because everything that I was doing at my job, if I got stressed out, I would take a pill to make me feel better. And if I got angry because of people, I would take another pill to make me not care. And then I would go home at night and I would take shots and then take a pill to go to sleep. And it got to the point where there was nothing I could do to make me feel better. And there was just like this void inside of me. And I would always just have to figure things out and make things work. Like, My job was constantly me planning things. I would literally, it's like playing God, like looking back. I would have to do all these things to make something come together in the end. And I did not realize how exhausting that was, because that's what I was doing with my life. It's just, I don't know, it got to the point, and I don't even know how it happened, where during the weekdays, I left that job. And then during the weekdays, I was starting to work for myself, and I had my first solo house that I was building for a client. And I would leave my house every single morning at around 5:30 or 6, and I would drive down my driveway. And as I was driving down my driveway, I would tell myself I don't need to take a shot today. I'd keep little Smirnoff 100 proof shots in my glove box. It was like literally lined with shot bottles. And by the time I got down the street, the shot that I had moved to my cup holder, it would be gone. And I don't even, like, I can't even comprehend that. Like, it just happened. And it ended up with me getting a DUI at 3:15 in the afternoon. And this woman hit me. So I came up to a stop sign and stopped, and then I kept going, but I didn't see her, and she hit me. And apparently there was alcohol in my system. There was Xanax too, they didn't get that. And I don't know what happened, but the second that she hit me, I was kind of just disoriented. It's what happens when you get a car accident. And the second that I came to, the thought that came through my head was I was an alcoholic. Because after I got out of the car, the first thing I did before I went and checked to see how everyone was, I could see her, but I got my laptop bag and I took all the shot bottles that I used to just chuck into my back seat after I take them, and I put them into my laptop bag. And there were so many of them, I couldn't keep up. It was obvious what I was doing. Anyway, I got arrested and I was in the jail cell, and I was eating a bologna sandwich that wasn't refrigerated that I made on the back of my stainless steel toilet. And I was just laying there, and this is before I had experienced anything in AA. And so my first thought, keep in mind, after I came to during this accident, was I was an alcoholic. And I lay down on this bench, and my thought was, my plan just doesn't work anymore. And I had never been to AA, and that's the weirdest thing, because now that I've been here for a while, I've been so sorry. My sobriety date is November 8th, 2018. But what's it called? I don't know. It's just weird. I think back now, and that's like the whole basis of AA. Like, I didn't really have a higher power that I had any kind of connection with or anything at that point. But those were the thoughts that came to mind. And it's just really weird to fathom that, because I see people now who come in and out and they just don't get it. And I don't understand why I just like got it instantly, that my plan just didn't work anymore. And the whole reason I shared how my day was today was because, like, I've been happy. Like, I've been a solid, I say I'm a solid 7. It was actually a 10. I bring myself back down to a 7 because my sponsor taught me that if you get really, really high and they're the best you can be, there's nothing that can happen besides you crashing. So I always keep myself like 6 or 7. And I've just been so genuinely happy. And the past like month and a half, 2 months, I don't know what it is. Something happens when I pray to this higher power that I don't understand. I'm not some super spiritual person, just as much as the program has taught me to be. I feel like it's growing, but like, I pray to this person I don't understand, who I'm still resentful at, because I think it's so frustrating that there's some person that, or being, or something, or entity that is all knowing and all powerful. That's, my life is, I guess, a little game. So that irritates me. But when I let go of all my pride, and when I ask for help, and when I don't worry about the things that I don't need to worry about, when I just take things as they come, one day at a time, one moment at a time, when I'm just present and enjoy everything, everything goes fucking phenomenal. Like today, I cannot tell you how at peace I feel just hanging out with people, random people, helping someone move. I was sweating my ass off all day, and I was showing before the meeting, I smell like bug spray and disgusting. And it was just great to spend time with people and to be able to help someone to move. And that was something I didn't experience before. It was always me worrying about what I need to do next, what I'm doing now. Will that get me to the outcome of what's going to happen for this next thing? And I don't know, my priorities have just changed. It's changed from needing to accomplish something or be something better to me just being okay. I'm poor right now. I'm very poor. And I never thought I'd be okay being so poor because I'm surrounded with the program. I have a solution to the loneliness and the emptiness that I felt inside before. I've filled this hole that I have with AA and with a connection with this higher power who I have no full comprehension of. I'm just doing what the program has taught me, and it's working out for me. So that's all for me. Thank you guys for having me, and thank you for letting me share. I hope all that made sense. I haven't had that much caffeine today. So anyways, thank you guys.